last video, I tested a thing called free token, and at the end of it, I had to tell you that I could not run it on my own laptop. 16 gigabytes of RAM was the problem. So this week, NVIDIA put out something completely different, and I want to answer the same question. Can you run this one at home? This is Kimodo. You type one sentence, and it gives you a three-dimensional human animation. That is the whole product. And I want to be really clear about this from the start because it is the thing most people get wrong. This is not a video model. Nothing here is pixels. What comes out is animation data, joint rotations frame by frame, which means you can put it on a game character or you can put it on a robot. Same file. It comes out of the NVIDIA Spatial Intelligence Lab. The code is Apache 2.0. The weights are under the NVIDIA Open Model License, and the model card says it is ready for commercial use. So what I have done is I have rented the exact card from their paper, installed it, generated a lot of motion and measured everything. And at the end, I will tell you exactly what you need at home. Here is the problem they are trying to solve. If you want good human motion today, you have three options and all three are bad. Option 1 is studio motion capture. Best quality there is, and it is expensive, and you have to put markers on a person and book a stage. Option 2, if you're doing robots, is teleoperation, where you drive the robot by hand. The paper's own words are that it is slow and gives you awkward, unnatural behavior. And option 3 is to pull motion back out of ordinary video. There is a lot of video in the world and the motion you get back from it is not accurate enough. So their argument is that a generative model is a fourth option. And the reason theirs works is one number. 700 hours. Kimodo is trained on 700 hours of real studio motion capture from 170 different people. And to give you a sense of what that means, the dataset that basically everybody in this field trains on is called Human ML 3D, and it is 30 hours, so this is more than 20 times bigger, and all of it is studio grade. What is in it is locomotion, gestures, everyday activities, picking things up, video game combat, dancing, athletics, and a lot of it performed in different styles: tired, angry, drunk, injured, stealthy, old. One thing to know now, so you're not surprised later, it is body only. There are no fingers in the training data, so there are no fingers in the output. And here is the first honest catch. That 700-hour dataset is called Bones Rig Play, and it is proprietary. You cannot download it. What you can download is the 288-hour public subset, and they released a model trained only on that too. The model itself is a diffusion model, but it does not denoise an image. It denoises a sequence of body poses. It starts from pure noise and it cleans it up 100 times until it is a motion. And it is small, 282 million parameters. That is the whole thing. The interesting design choice is that it is two transformers, not one. The first one only predicts where the body is going. The second one predicts what the body is doing, and it gets to see the first one's answer. And they tested that. They built the same model as one big transformer instead, with the same number of parameters. Foot skating nearly doubled and the constraint error tripled. There is a second thing I like. Instead of tracking the hips, which sway side to side when you walk, they smooth the path out into the kind of line a person would actually draw in an animation tool, and then the hips are free to move around that line. And the way you control it is almost embarrassingly simple. You take the noisy motion, and wherever you have a constraint, you just override it. Then you tell the model which parts you overrode. That is it. No control net, no extra training, no optimization at generation time. They did try the fancier version, the one where you steer it with gradients while it generates. Their own words are that it gave minimal improvement, made generation much slower, and was unstable and hard to tune, so they did not ship it. So let's go ahead and run it. Their paper quotes a speed on a 3090, so that is exactly the card I rented, 50 cents an hour. 24 gigabytes of VRAM, 32 CPU cores, driver 580. Let's check what we have. Installing it is one pip command, 3 minutes and 8 seconds, and it is done. So let's go ahead and generate something, and this is where it stopped. You are trying to access a gated repo, access to model, Llama 38B, instruct is restricted. The reason is that the part of Kimodo that reads your sentence is not Kimodo. It is Llama 3, the 8 billion one, running as a text encoder. So a 0.28 billion parameter model that is Apache licensed will not start until Meta has approved your account for somebody else's 8 billion parameter model. If you already have access, it is one command to log in, and then it just works. If you do not, go and request it first, because everything after this needs it. With the token in place, it pulls the encoder down 16 gigabytes. And once it is loaded, look at what is sitting on the card. 14,870 megabytes. All of that is the text encoder. None of it is Kimodo yet, which is why they ship it as a separate service. You start it once, it stays in memory, and every generation after that talks to it instead of loading 8 billion parameters again. Now, let's go ahead and actually generate one command, one sentence, 5 seconds of motion. And that is a person walking forward from those words in under 3 seconds. Now their paper makes a specific claim. It says on an NVIDIA 3090, generating a motion from a single prompt takes anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds depending on the duration. So I measured it. 2 seconds of motion took 2.03 seconds, 10 seconds of motion took 4.76, 2 to 5 seconds on a 3090. The claim is exactly right. But here is the honest version of that number. The command itself takes about 14 seconds. The generating is under 3. The rest is Python starting up and loading the model, which is the actual reason that text encoder service exists. Pay it once and then it really is 3 seconds. There is also a quality knob. It denoises 100 times by default. Drop it to 25 and you get a motion in under a second. Push it to 200 and it takes 5.5. And this is where it gets interesting, because generating one motion is not really the point. I ask it for 16 motions from the same sentence, 49 seconds, that is about 3 seconds each end to end. And they are not 16 copies. Same sentence, same model, 16 different performances. And I measured that because it is easy to say any two of those 16 are on average 59 centimeters apart, joint for joint. Where they finish on the floor varies by about 40 centimeters. That is not jitter, that is 16 takes. You can choose between the styles work too. This is a hip hop dance, and this one is the word zombie doing a lot of work in the prompt. And you are capped at 10 seconds per prompt, but you can chain prompts walking forward, then turning right and sneaking. It generates them in order and stitches the transition. Okay, but so far this is a slot machine. You type a sentence, you get something back, and if you do not like it, you type it again. That is not how animation works. So this is the part that actually matters. Kimodo takes constraints. You can pin the whole body at a frame. You can pin just the hands or the feet, position and rotation. You can draw a path on the floor. You can drop waypoints and you can mix them. So this is a full body keyframe. I have given it 2 poses at frame 79 and frame 134 and told it to walk forward and pick something up from the ground. The yellow poses are the ones I asked for. So I measured how close it gets with the cleanup turned off. So this is the model on its own. It lands 2.8 centimeters from the pose I asked for. Their paper says 3.2 on their own test set. That is close enough that I believe their number. This one only pins the hands and the feet, picks something up with 2 hands and put it down on the left. And this is my favorite one. I have drawn a path on the ground and told it to walk casually. It follows the line. The path is the one it is worst at. On its own, it drifts about 9 centimeters off my line, and only 62% of the frames land within 10 centimeters. Their paper quotes 3.6, but that is averaged over their whole test suite, and mine is one dense path, so please do not read those as the same test. Or you give it 3 points on the floor instead of a whole line, and let it work out how to hit them. This one is dancing between them. And this is why an animator would care keyframe at the start, keyframe at the end, and it fills in the middle. Draw the path of a navigation mesh and your character walks it. Put the hands where the object is and it picks the object up. There is also a cleanup pass on by default. It locks the feet using the model's own contact prediction and nudges the pose to hit your constraints. Exactly. Here is the same motion with it off and with it on. And then the cleanup runs, and this is the bit I did not expect. The full body error goes to 0, not near 0, 0. The hands and feet land within 0.05 of a millimeter. The path goes from 9 centimeters down to 3. And on the walking example, foot skating halves, Now here is the part that tells you why NVIDIA built this at all. There is a second model trained on the same 700 hours but retargeted onto a Unitary G1, a real humanoid robot. So instead of teleoperating a robot for hours to collect demonstrations, you type what you want. A person stumbles and recovers their balance. And it comes out as a MuJoCo file, which means it drops straight into a physics simulator. NVIDIA's own framework takes it from there, trains a controller to track it, and puts it on the real robot. One caveat, they are upfront about that cleanup pass I showed you does not work properly on the robot skeleton yet. Right, cons. And there are real ones. 10 seconds is the hard number. That is what it was trained on. But I asked it for 20 seconds anyway, and it did not complain. It gave me 20 seconds. And here's what happens. For the first 10 seconds, it moves like a person somewhere between 20 and 90 centimeters a second. At 10 seconds, it goes to 800, then 1600. That is 16 meters a second. It comes apart completely, and nothing on the command line tells you that it has. Second one, it only knows what it was trained on. Their own documentation gives you the example. A baseball player walks up to the plate and swings a bat. There is no baseball in the data, so here is what that gives you. And it goes the other way too. Too short a prompt is just as bad. A person walks on its own is not enough for it. Third, it does not know about the world. There are no objects in the scene. When it picks something up, it is miming. There is nothing there. And here is a small one that I found funny. Their best practices page tells you to use stylized subjects, an old person, a drunk person, because that is what is in the data. Their model card on the same model tells you to describe actions in neutral physical terms instead of using demographic adjectives. Same model, 2 documents, opposite advice. Fourth, and this is the big one for some of you, it is not real time. It is an offline authoring tool. You ask for emotion, you wait a few seconds, you get emotion. You cannot drive a character with it live. They know in July they released the follow-up called RD, which is the real-time version built on top of this. That is a different video. Okay, the question from the start, can you run this at home? The documentation says about 17 gigabytes of VRAM, and that, if your card is smaller, you set one environment variable and it drops to under 3. So I measured both. Everything on the GPU, 16,074 megabytes. Text encoder pushed to the CPU, 1,658. That is 1.6 gigabytes. Their claim is conservative. It is better than they say. So on VRAM, almost any card works, which sounds like great news, except nobody is publishing the other number. When you push that encoder to the CPU, it has to live somewhere. I watched the system memory while it ran. 16,110 megabytes, just under 16 gigabytes of ordinary RAM. And I have a laptop with 16 gigabytes of RAM, so rather than guess, I shrank the rented machine down until only 15.3 gigabytes were free and ran the whole thing again. And it ran 15.1 gigabytes free, no swap file at all, and it gave me the motion in 117 seconds, which is the same as when it had the whole machine. It did not run out of memory because those weights are memory mapped, so when it gets tight, the system leans on the disk instead of falling over. So then I got greedy and kept squeezing. 10 gigabytes free, still works. 8 gigabytes free, still works. 113 seconds. So 16 gigabytes is what it would like, not what it needs. If you have a reasonable SSD, it will just read the weights off the disk as it goes. So the verdict is the opposite of last time. The graphics card is not the problem. 1.6 gigabytes of VRAM means almost any card you already own will do this. What you need is system memory and a quick disk on 16 gigabytes total with Windows running as well. You are right on the edge and your page file is going to work for a living. On 32, you're completely fine. And if none of that applies to you, there is an easier answer. NVIDIA hosted themselves. There is a free demo on Hugging Face running on an L40S, and you do not install anything. And if you do run it locally, you get this: the authoring interface, a timeline, a 3-dimensional viewer, and every constraint I just showed you as something you drag. The whole thing cost me $1.05 in rented GPU time, 50 cents an hour for the 3090, and about 30 cents of that was me trying to rent a 4090 that turned out to be out of stock. So quickly, 700 hours of real motion capture, a 282 million parameter model, 3 seconds of motion, and controls that an animator would actually recognize it. It is body only. It is 10 seconds at a time, it is not real time, and it needs 16 gigabytes of memory somewhere. Next one is RD, the real-time version, because that is the one that changes what you can build with it, and the RAM upgrade I promised you last video is still happening. Everything is linked in the description. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.